We got Superman sneak peek, bro. Who directed this again? I forget his name. Damn, I forget who directed this. He directed Guardians of the Galaxy too, man. I forget his name. But anyways, this thing better be fire, bro. Cause I don't know if you could see, but I got a Batman poster, bro. So I love the DC. Damn. Anyways, just know I love the DC, bro. The Batman, one of my favorite movies. The one with Robert Pattinson, one of my favorite movies, bro. So let's see the Superman. Shit loudest, bro. Okay, Yamcha from Dragon Ball. Damn. This nigga Yamcha got beat so bad that this nigga got mean on everything now. Like, who the hell beat Superman that bad, bro? Dude shaking, bro. Y'all see this? His hand shaking. Could never be Batman. He would have get up. Batman would have get up, bro. What that boy Crypto? Damn, that dog moving. Damn. Just jump on him like that? Like I ain't injured? Damn. Nigga get beat by his dog now, bro. Nigga finish get beat by whoever beat him. Call his dog, and now his dog is putting more pain on it. Negative 500. Negative 500. Negative 500. Negative 500. Stop. Negative 500. You are losing too much aura at this point, Superman. You are losing too much aura. Stop. Got you doing the splits. Oh my goodness. 10,000.
Crypto, take me home. Home. Crypto, home.
Ah, they dragging you. They are dragging you. And it look like you're about to go far too. Negative 10,000. Crypto, plus 10,000, plus 500, plus 500. Had to save your Uno. Damn. What's going on here? What the hell is all this? Is that your base? Just out in the Antarctica? Just out in the cold? Damn, nigga. I didn't know you had it like that. Plus 10,000, damn. Nah, this look fire, bro. why he dropped there, cause home right there. Superman robot number 4. Okay. Damn, bro, how many robots?
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve.
Alright, bro, we ain't asked all that.
Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Damn, that shit moving too? Oh nah, this nigga got it in this movie, bro. He got it. Nah.
Level 4?
292 times Saharan Prime, please, one.
Damn, they just laser light this nigga, bro. They give this nigga the hottest sun. That's his name, James Gunn. Damn, bro. I couldn't remember his name at all. Nah, I kinda excited to see this now.
Who's back?
Superman.
You know what? The only thing I hate about Superman? This nigga do not know how to fight, bro. This nigga is the strongest person on Earth in the DC universe. But he do not know how to fight, bro. If this nigga knew how to fight, bro, it would have been over for all these villains, bro. Like, let's look at Batman, bro. Martial artist, hand-to-hand combat, master. But this nigga Superman only know how to throw a punch, bro. And the punches look stupid too. He only strong because he's strong. Can't wait. Now that we've seen this, we need to see. Where was it? I saw it. Damn, the trailer came out 3 months ago already? Damn, it's been that long? Where was it? New Rockstar, where are you? Need to see new Rockstar video. There it is.
I have to finish writing this paper.
My
I'm
boy,
swamped.
Eric finna explain everything to me.
Just get Grammarly. It's free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night?
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is
Eric Voss.
the breakdown of the new scene from James Gunn's Superman. This nearly 5-minute sneak peek was first shown at CinemaCon and then released publicly by James Gunn on Thursday, giving us a look at Superman's recovery by Crypto and the robots of the Fortress of Solitude, and just some slightly extended versions of the shots that we saw in December. And throughout all of this, I'm surprised how many details I was able to find. So I'm gonna break down everything we learned from this footage and from interviews with
Damn. That trailer came out in December? Damn.
cast and crew throughout this week at CinemaCon. And by the way, the shirt I'm wearing is called Secret Identity, and it's a design available for purchase at nerdriot.shop, which is the best way to support new rock stars. Okay, let's dive into this footage. The footage opens the same way as the December teaser, the icy shots of the tundra that surrounds the Fortress of Solitude. James Gunn and his crew shot in the Adventdalen Valley in Svalbard, Norway, an area that just came up in Severance Season 2 as the location of a Gunnel Egan Empathy Center. This beautiful but miserable climate along the Arctic Circle is where poor Miss Huang was relocated. But this CinemaCon sneak peek includes some expanded wide shots before the initial shot of Superman crash landing in the snow, including some of the beautiful curved ice walls that look like the ones that Superman flies past and through in the other new shot that
Oh my goodness, this shot is so terrible, bro. Like, look at this, bro. Look at bro eyes, bro. Damn. This shot is so terrible, bro. Like, what's going on with homie eyes, bro?
that we saw. Remember that shot that the internet kept complaining about? And the second shot, I think, shows a few ice boulders poking out of the snow that I'm pretty sure are the tippy tops of the crystal pillars that form the Fortress of Solitude. Like, I'm pretty sure it's buried under this part. But then we get to the shot that we saw in the December teaser, Superman crashing and the camera lowering down to his bruised body as he wheezes and spits up blood. And you can really see now the bruising around his jawline and his neck, like he had just been choked and then thrown. And he blows a super whistle, and you can really hear the crisp sound design of the whistle now. Then, of course, Crypto, the superdog, speeds toward him, kicking up a trail of powder, and then happily bounds through the snow with its tongue out until he leaps with glee upon Superman.
Dude got his dog beating him up, bro.
I love how on every one of Crypto's pounces, you can really hear like a fleshy crunch sound effect of just someone getting punched. Like the audio engineer clearly had a lot of fun here. And David Cornsweat's screams of pain are clearly just agonizing. He is hurt. And there is a real chomp sound effect when Crypto bites his boot to drag the leg around. And then after tussling with his arm, Crypto does this adorable doggy head tilt as he realizes that his buddy isn't gonna play back with him.
Crypto.
So Superman gives this dog his cape, and Crypto drags him across the tundra where the Fortress of Solitude bursts out of the snow. And as they approach, we see the doors are in the shape of the five-sided Superman shield that's also on Crypto's collar. I appreciate the VFX details of the clumps of snow that drop off these crystal spokes. And then Crypto barks, and the S emblem glows on the door. So Superman must have
Nah, this is a fire shot.
program these doors so that they would respond to Crypto's voice as well, I assume for occasions just like this. And I just love how Crypto's tail wags as the door lights up. Then Crypto brings him inside.
Superman!
Whoa! So, in the December teaser, we definitely saw Superman holding the broken form of his Kryptonian robot that I assumed was Kellex, and I'm pretty sure that still is Kellex, but these four are very clearly the Superman robots that come directly from the 2011 animated film All-Star Superman, which was loosely based on the 2005 to 2008 Grant Morrison comic run All-Star Superman.
This nigga is doing his research, bro. That's damn. How many research do you do, bro?
Which James Gunn has cited as the primary inspiration for this movie's take on Superman. In that 2011 movie, the Superman robots help Superman around the Fortress of Solitude and ultimately help him fight Solaris, where many of them get destroyed. As they do in that animated film, these robots wear Superman-inspired capes and have similar chest shields that are numbered. These four are 1, 12, 4, and 5. The robot we hear best, number 4, is the voice of Alan Tudyk, whom James Gunn had confirmed voiced someone in this film, and now we know who it is. But the real detail from this clip that I even hesitate to bring up are the other voices that we hear in the background here. We hear a male and a female voice, and the closed captioning of the YouTube upload labels these as Kryptonian chatter. And we definitely hear the male voice say Kal-El a few times. I think these are the voices of Superman's biological parents, Lara, Lor-Van, and Jor-El. Now, there were some rumors going around regarding the actor who voices Jor-El, and now that I can hear this actor's voice pretty clearly here, I think a lot of us know who this sounds like, but just in case the movie plans on this being a surprise, spoiler warning, skip to this time.
Nigga, just say it, bro.
You don't want it confirmed. Okay, I think the male Kryptonian voice, the voice of Jor-El, is Bradley Cooper. Cooper is obviously a collaborator of James Gunn. He was the voice of James Gunn's favorite Marvel character, Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, he played Rocket? Damn. That's fire.
Jor-El is obviously a sacred role to the Superman franchise. He was played by Marlon Brando in the 1978 film. For people who saw this rumor online and saw the controversy online, with people really mad over this rumor going around, considering it a spoiler, I now ask you, now that we can hear what I think is pretty clearly the voice of Bradley Cooper in this publicly released scene, is it okay to no longer consider Bradley Cooper being in this movie a spoiler? Let me know in the comments, please. But I'm wondering if the voices that greet Kal-El when he enters the Fortress of Solitude are just the final words of his parents as they had put him as a baby in the evacuation pod from Krypton. Or maybe it's a Kryptonian message of warning triggered by these sensors of the fortress alerting that their son is injured, and maybe some instructions for how to heal him. It's also just wild that James Gunn is committing to the language of Kryptonian being, to us, the audience, foreign. They invented a new spoken language, like what we've seen with the alien languages of the MCU, like in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy films.
In his research, Dr. Morrison identified a paradox.
In the 1978 Richard Donner Superman film and in Zack Snyder's 2013 Man of Steel, those filmmakers adopted the convention of Kryptonian sounding like English to the audience, although the written cuneiform of the language was clearly alien. Now, I will say it makes sense to make Kryptonian a new spoken alien language, and it does contribute to the idea of Kal-El in this movie being an immigrant to this planet. So Superman talks to robot number 4.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
Now,
I just realized robots have gender.
I could be wrong, but the female voice, number 12, kind of sounds like Linda Cardellini, who voiced Rocket's lost love, Lila, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
There are the hands that made us, and then there are
Fire movie, by the way. Fire movie.
the hands that guide the hands.
He looked at me.
Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. You should rock it with BetterHelp.com for their questions month of therapy. To keep, I guess, the ice crystals from forming on their optic lenses, the robots carry him to the medical table where they scan his injuries. From one-eyed robots and get 10% off your first month of therapy. By the way, I love how these one-eyed robots blink like they have shutters to keep, I guess, the ice crystals from forming on their optic lenses. The robots carry him to the medical table where they scan his injuries.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
We see a hollow display
Some yellow sun.
of Superman's body with Kryptonian letters floating all around it, and a series of rings and lenses, all showing the Kryptonian technology in this fortress. A reminder that Superman, of course, draws his power from solar energy, from our yellow sun in particular. It's what heals him. So, like a giant sunflower, the whole Fortress of Solitude rotates to face the sun, and these rings lower into place to direct the sunbeams through these lenses. And the robots say,
Level 4?
292 times Saharan Prime, please, Walt.
Saharan Prime. So I'm assuming Saharan Prime is some kind of unit of sunlight measurement based on Earth's Saharan Desert, which is one of the sunniest places on our planet, with more than 3,600 hours of bright sunshine per year. And you're asking, what does that mean? I'm saying it's over 82% of available daylight hours are just pure unclouded sunlight. So maybe these robots are saying the amount of sunshine the Saharan Desert is currently getting, multiply it by 292 times. And as this focused light hits Superman, he screams. Now, you may ask, should Superman scream when solar radiation heals him? Well, yes, I think so. Like, we just saw Tyler Hoechlin and Superman and Lois stand on the surface of the sun screaming as the sun was like burning the flesh on his skin. But normally you would say the healing process is a more graceful one. But I think that's just in the case whenever he's feeling drained or tired, like after some exposure to kryptonite. Like you'll notice in this shot, he does not scream initially when just the normal Arctic sunlight hits him. It's really just when the beams are intensified by 292 times. And this guy has serious internal injuries that hurt him enough that Krypto pouncing on him made him scream in pain. So yeah, whatever rapid healing this radiation is doing to his bladder, his kidney, his large intestine, and his lungs probably hurts like hell.
Nah, this dude is yap a lot though.
For those wounds to rapidly heal. Also, if his lungs were punctured, which might have been the case if he was coughing up blood and it hurt him to even whistle or to croak these commands to the dog, screaming is a good thing because it means that air is now flowing normally through the lungs. Like a newborn baby, you want to hear them cry. Now, the rest of the footage is pretty much shots that we saw in the December teaser, as well as also the 30-second preview to the teaser, but some of these shots have been expanded by just a few frames or a second to reveal some interesting new details that we didn't see before. For example, this shot of the kaiju stomping on the canister truck that explodes behind the little girl whom Superman saves by the Metropolis Meteors Stadium. As the tanks fly past the camera, you can see the label on a few of them now, and it looks like a C within a D, DC, and it looks like these contain the noble gas of argon. Argon, like krypton, is considered one of the noble or inert gases, and argon is used in welding, lighting, food packaging, 3D printing, and other various industrial processes. When Superman flies past Lex, we now hear Lex say he's back as he turns back to the camera.
He's back.
I think this might be the first time we've heard Nicholas Holt's voice as Lex Luthor, and there's definitely some like Michael Rosenbaum-esque edge and anger to his take. And then in this shot of Superman with Lois, with battle raging behind them as he just sits forward calmly with a mug, based on the green beam in that battle, I'm pretty sure that would be Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, fighting someone else, maybe Circe, the Amazonian sorceress from Creature Commandos, because James Gunn has said that sorcery will be in this movie, and I don't know what other character at this stage of the DCU sorcery would be coming from. And remember, Creature Commandos featured a pretty gnarly prophetic vision from Circe that gave us our first looks of most of James Gunn's takes on the DC lineup.
Why can't you stay organized? I've experienced this myself, and it's called chronic impulse control, where you
I'm now pretty certain that this shot, plus the shot of Clark and Lois kissing in the kitchen, plus the two of them floating upward while spinning, are all part of a fantasy sequence in Kal-El's imagination. Because James Gunn surprised us this week when, in an interview with Time, he said that 10% of this movie is a single 12-minute interview scene with Lois and Clark. He said, "We shot the 12-minute interview scene with Lois and Clark."
Why though?
That was 10% of the movie in 2 days. And to see
10% of the whole movie?
the energy and magic between him and Rachel was awesome, not to mention how incredibly prepared they both were. It was a huge relief. Now, I don't know if he's referring to an interview scene or an interview sequence, a sequence that might feature Lois interviewing Superman, while in Superman's point of view, there would be a lot of other setups as Superman fantasizes what he wishes he was really doing with her, or if Gunn might have just...
So, Superman a creep now? Is that what we're portraying? Superman is a creep?
Scripted a static interview moment between these characters just sitting in a room that lasts 12 minutes and would be 10% of the movie. That would be wild, but it could play out like one of the amazing slow burn sequences from Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards. Like at least like a third of that movie are just people talking to each other in rooms that are very, very tense. But I am guessing it is the former. I think it's like an interview scene that cuts away to these interviews in Kal-El's mind. And I'm just saying that because I don't think James Gunn has ever stayed in a single static scene for that long in any of his films. But yes, I also think these images are part of Superman's fantasy because at CinemaCon, James Gunn went into detail about how this movie begins. He said about Kal-El/Clark, he is starting to become successful at both jobs in the big glitzy city so far away from home. He's madly in love with a woman who isn't so sure about him. He's made a few superhuman friends who like him but think of him as naive. All of these new elements in his life have unbalanced him a bit, and he's tottering. We're going to see where he lands in terms of his values and choices. And in this shot of the Daily Planet newsroom, we see Rachel Brosnahan as Lois, Michaela Hoover as gossip columnist Kat Grant, Christopher McDonald as reporter Ron Troop, Skylar Gisondo as...
Alright, I've seen enough. Next video.